This podcast is recorded at the Zone Gym studio.
You're listening to the Raw Reality Podcast hosted by Tori Story and Fit with Lily.
Hello guys and welcome back to our podcast. We have a very exciting guest on today, Stewert. This has been in the works for maybe a year.
Probably more.
Literally longer than that.
Yeah. We've had failed episodes, we've had people sick, we've been people away, last minute cancellations. There's been a bit on.
We're all busy.
You know what? The timing's always right. So you guys obviously just needed this episode now and not 6 months ago. But Beck is a owner of Habit Tracker, and I'm sure you guys all know about it. The journal, the timer, the productivity timer, and just basically everything to do with organization and habits, hitting your goals. She also has a podcast as well called In Her Power, and then social media. You basically dabble in it all.
All the things. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited finally to be here. Oh my God.
I'm feeling a goodie today.
Me too.
We are very excited. Well, let's get straight into it. You did a Bachelor of Entertainment Industries at university, majoring in marketing. Did you ever expect your life to end up this way?
No, because originally, funny story, I was actually meant to be a teacher first. So I did Bachelor of Primary Education.
Oh.
I also see that for you.
Wait, did you graduate?
No.
Okay.
So I got 3 years into that 4-year degree and decided, you know what? I'm the most impatient person I know. So year 3 is when you go into the classroom and you do your prac, which is where you pretend to be a teacher and then the teacher assesses you and basically gives you feedback. Hated that. Children are naughty. I'm too impatient. So yeah, was supposed to be a teacher, then went into entertainment industries. I wanted to be like a talent manager for like celebs and like maybe bands or musicians. And then because I was also majoring in marketing, I was exposed to the world of e-com, marketing, social media, and kind of, yeah, here we are, I suppose.
Trajectory.
Yeah.
It always happens though, especially in the marketing industry and world. It's like you never end up where you started because there's so many jobs out there that you didn't realize were even a job until you fell into it. And I think that's very much the case of you, but now also not even falling into a job, starting your own job. And just having multiple passions kind of combined into one is really cool to see.
Yeah. I know a lot of marketing girlies who went to uni for marketing and they're now doing something completely not irrelevant to the degree, but still like not in the corporate system doing a marketing job.
I did commerce, majoring in marketing. And I'm like, it's there, but not really.
But I feel like in some way, like in this day and age, like marketing comes into play somewhere.
Exactly. No matter what you do, it's that skill set that you can always pull from and rely on. So
would you say going into your personal development journey and social media kind of taking off, would you say it came from that shift in, I guess, coming out of uni and going into the direction of personal development? Is that when things kind of took off?
Definitely. Around that time when I changed from primary ed over to marketing or entertainment industries. Also at that time as well, I was delving into my health and fitness journey. And that's when I started to notice, why do I act the way I act? Why do I keep falling off the bandwagon? How can I fix this? How can I be better, do better, think better? So yeah, I think it all around, I don't know whether like spiritually I was going through something at that stage, but everything kind of elevated. My career, my degree, my consciousness, my habits, my routines, everything around that time. So it kind of all took off at the same time.
So what started first? Was it your podcast, social media, or the idea for the Habit Tracker?
It was a personal brand first, so the Beck Stewert personal brand. And then around that time, I was trying to get into my health and fitness routines and I kept falling off the bandwagon and I was trying to figure out why I kept doing that. Then I did some research, was introduced to the concept of habit tracking, spoke about it on I think I had like 10,000 followers, maybe less than that, 9,000 followers at the time. I spoke about it on my Instagram account, and then the habit tracker just kind of became a thing organically.
Can you talk about the stat that you have within the habit tracking? Because I remember you explained it on some podcast or somewhere, but how like back then there was not really, like you delve into the science behind habit tracking. Can you just quickly like talk to that? Because I feel like you explain it really, really well.
Yeah. So on average, now this is, I say this a lot on social media, and then people come for me and tell me it's this figure or another figure
Of
or this
course.
stat, and I'm like, guys, I've tried. It's trialed and tested by me.
Yeah.
So on average, it takes 66 days for a new behavior to become a habit, and there's like heaps of science behind habit formation. But for me, I like to think of it in like, it's like a formula of three primary things. So the first one is repetition. So doing this said habit time and time and time and time again. Then you've got your consistency. So doing that habit time and time and time again for like consistently. So over time. And then you have your dopamine hit. So your micro reward. Now this is the thing that I think a lot of people overlook. So this is why, again, it's really important to like celebrate your small wins. And this is why habit tracking is actually backed by science, because ticking off that little box in your habit tracker is quite literally that dopamine hit, that micro reward for the brain. So you're actioning that habit and then you're ticking it off, and it's like that cue or that trigger to your brain, like what you've just done is correct. That is satisfactory. We feel good about that. And once you do those three things time and time and time and time again, that's when habits are born.
Well, it makes sense.
Just nails it every time.
Yeah. It also makes sense because sometimes I get into the end of the day and I'm like, I feel like I've achieved nothing. I've done nothing. Sometimes I just write down what I've done and then tick it off. And I'm like, oh, now I feel
Done
accomplished.
so much
and then
today.
you feel so much better within, rather than getting to the end of the day and spiraling and feel like you've done nothing. But
Exactly.
when you rewind, you actually realize how much you've done. And then that just like really reinforces all those little things into you and be like, no, you are accomplished, you are successful, you are productive, and you want to do it again the next day.
And that's exactly why I love habit tracking, because it shows you that progress, not just from the day, but from that week, that month. But also on the other end of that, it also keeps you really honest. So I know a lot of the time, even with my health and fitness goals, for example, I'll be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I hit my 10K, like I did, blah, blah, blah. I'll go back to my habit tracker and I'm like, I didn't do it this day and this day and this day and this day. And I'm like, well, that's why you haven't made any progress, because X, Y, and Z, your habit tracker is literally keeping you honest as to what you're doing, what you're not doing. So I will forever and a day preach habit tracking. Evidently, I've built a brand around it. But if anyone's listening and they want to delve into, habit formation and build a new habit into their lifestyle, start with habit tracking and go find a habit tracker template on Pinterest. There's so many free ones. Changed my life, truly.
So simple.
In the beginning, when you said you kept falling off the bandwagon, what did your habits look like in the beginning that you started tracking?
There was none.
There was, yep.
And that was the issue.
Yep.
I was in my party girl phase.
Yeah.
I was also studying full time, and I was also working full time. So like when I tell you I had no healthy habits, I wish I was joking. I would sleep in to the very last minute before I had to leave for work. I would skip breakfast. I would eat like shit at work, go home, wouldn't train, wouldn't do uni, just scroll into bed. And that would be like, I'm telling you now, I wasn't hydrating properly. I wasn't making my bed. I wasn't, eating or tracking it was like there was none. And so I remember it got to one point, I still remember the conversation I had with Zach. And I remember we were going out Friday nights, Saturday nights. If there was a public holiday.
Like clubbing or eating?
No, clubbing.
Oh, cool.
Like I'm talking 2-3 day benders. It got to the point where we were doing it 5 weeks in a row. I think it was 5 or 6 weeks in a row. And I looked at Zach and I was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. Like I feel I have put on like 20 kilos. I feel disgusting. I'm failing university. I'm, my work ethic at work is not good at the moment. Like this is an issue. And I said to Zach, this cannot continue anymore. And that was kind of the pivotal moment where I was like, ooh, something needs to change. Something needs to change. Like this, I was looking at myself in the mirror thinking, I have no idea who you are. You've never been like this. This is like just a year's worth of really toxic, unhealthy habits. Like you cannot continue like that. And that was around the time where I was trying to make changes and then falling off the bandwagon and trying to get up earlier to make my F45 class and doing it for 2 days and then falling off the bandwagon. And I remember literally opening up Google one day. I still remember I was sitting in my bedroom at mum and dad's house. I still remember what I was wearing, the bedspread that was on the bed. I opened up my laptop and I typed in how to actually achieve your goals. And that's where I found a peer-reviewed psychology journal, and it was all about habit formation. And that's where I found habit tracking, the concept.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is cool in that story though is like how you and Zach have evolved through that together and to look at where you are now. But it's also like we don't do what we do now and are where we are now without that period of falling off the bandwagon. I feel like so many listening can relate. I mean, we've both been there. where you have the intention, but to
set.
stick to it and make it happen day in, day out. Like, it doesn't just happen overnight.
No.
It's also how badly you want it. Because
Exactly.
if you don't want it bad enough, you won't change. So maybe
No.
if you didn't go out those 5 weekends in a row, you probably wouldn't have implemented this. If
So
you went
true.
at 1 or 2, you're probably like, oh, like I feel shit, but like I'll get back
It's
on it in a few
fine,
days.
yeah.
It's fine. It's when you will only change truly when you want it bad enough. And if you don't, no one can save you. No one can help you. You're the person who has to actually make the change. And that's like almost what happened to you. You woke up one day and you're like, enough is enough. Like, what am I going to do to be able to change it? And it's crazy to see how much you have like, I'm not gonna say turned your life around, but like gone as full 180. Like you're a completely different
Truly.
person. And it also proves to everyone that no matter what situation you're in right now, you can become a better version of yourself by simply starting to track your habits.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
From that point, assuming there wasn't too much to track habits, like yes, you've got the Pinterest ones and things like that, but something that really dove deep, explained it all, was that kind of the leading into the habit tracker being born?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did that process look like?
So I remember I found a little habit tracking template on Pinterest, and I just chose, I think it was 3 habits, and the 3 habits were related to the things that I really wanted to improve. So I really wanted to get a high distinction at university. I'd never gotten one. I just wanted one. So I knew that that required a few extra hours a week of study. So that was one of the habits. I would do half an hour every single afternoon, whatever I had to do, reading, whatever, quizzes, whatever it was. The next one was, 2 liters of water, because I was like, this seems healthy. I'll just start here.
Yeah.
And then it was making my bed. Because
People underestimate the power of
guys,
making
You
your
feel
bed.
so much better.
make your fucking bed. Honestly, still to this day, I have been habit tracking for years and years and years and years and years. And I will not start my day unless my bed is made.
Agreed.
See, I do it an hour after I wake up, which is kind of wild. But
Fair
I'm like,
enough. As long as it's done.
But I found if I wake up and get out of bed, it does not work for me. Like
Okay.
I will never get out of bed and make it. Like, sorry, not
Yeah.
in my interest. My coffees are my first thing that is on my mind. But I find like that's what works for me. So my habit is to make my bed in the morning, not
course.
first thing.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
as long as it's
perfectly
done.
fine.
Yeah.
I
Even-
just can't start my work day because
Yeah.
I still like, for example, the last time it wasn't made, I was violently ill. I was sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll come back to this bed later in the day.
Yeah.
Went downstairs, did my work, came back upstairs, saw my bed was not made. Ropeable.
Yeah.
Worst mood. I was
Even
like,
if Jackson
"Fuck
makes
you."
the bed, I'm like, I need to remake it because I want the accomplishment of making the bed.
Yeah.
Makes such a difference. So yeah, I tracked those 3 habits and I said to myself, and again, Lily really reiterating here, I was like, I want change so badly. I have quite literally nothing to lose. The only thing, I challenge you to stick to this for just 1 month. Just 1 month. I think it was like, at first it was a week. And then that extended because I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to roll here.
good.
Again,
Yeah.
habit tracking showing me that I'm, in momentum. And that eventually got longer and longer. 1 week was 2 weeks. 2 weeks was a month. And I was like, hang on. The peer-reviewed psychology journal said if I can stick to it for like 66 days, so around 2 months, that's when it becomes a habit. That's when you're doing these things by default. So I was like, let's just see if we can go a little bit longer. And before I knew it, I was waking up, and doing these things by default. When I wasn't drinking 2 liters of water, my body was telling me, hey, you're dehydrated. Let's give you a headache. Let's give you eye strain. These little things, like my body was sending me cues. My mind was being like, hey, we normally do this in the morning. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it happened. And I remember at the time being like, it can't be that fucking easy. It can't be. But it is.
And it sounds scary. It feels like
Yes.
it's so much work, but it's like, hey, set 3 habits. You don't need to be setting a list of
No.
10 habits and like grinding to the ground to make this happen. Like start small, start with a week, and then you feel the momentum and you feel like how good it feels. You're like, oh, this is good. And that's why we always say like creating a healthy lifestyle becomes addictive because you
Exactly.
feel so good that you don't want to feel any other way.
And then when you come out of it, sorry to interrupt, when you come out of it or you're not in routine, you feel like shit.
Yeah. Even just
my
like the
life.
slightest bit out of routine, you're like, oh my God, I'm falling apart.
I'm spiraling.
Yeah.
Well, it's like choose the hard now, which is implementing the habits, which you get the easier later. But if you don't choose the hard now, it's just going to be harder later. Like it's
Exactly.
just, you've got to push
Exactly.
through those first few weeks and then that habit is formed and it's a part of your lifestyle again.
How long would you say until you change your habits before like those ones you've set are like stuck in stone before you can move on to the next ones?
I kind of just do it based, I guess it's subjective is the answer. I rotate my habits whenever I feel they need to, as in what season am I in? Are the habits that I'm doing right now serving me?
Yeah.
So on average, I said it takes around 2 months for them to be embedded, and I'll just continue them on until, so for example, like in winter, my morning routine was non-existent and I had a lot of habits that were embedded into a morning routine. I just kind of took them out and replaced them with things that were serving me. So I guess ask yourself, what kind of season am I in? What is required from me at the moment? Are you in your hustle season? Are you focusing on business? Have you got to, schedule in a content day once a week, or you got to, schedule in your YouTube posting once a week, whatever it is. I think, really honoring the season that you're in and finding the habits, routines, and rituals that better you in that season is the key there.
I think that's really important because people can see on socials everyone else's habits and feel like they have to meet that expectation even though it's not aligned with them.
Exactly.
So it's like getting clear on what you want and changing with the season.
Exactly.
It's like if you've had making your bed on your habit for like 3 months and you're like, I've got that down pat.
Yeah.
What else can we change in?
Yeah.
And then if another 3 months goes by and you're back to not making your bed, let's add that back in. Yeah, I think that's really important.
Yeah.
So what are your daily non-negotiables now? So we've obviously built up, you can make your bed, you can drink 2 liters of water.
Yeah.
What are your challenging habits now as well that you're trying to implement?
That's a good question. So my daily non-negotiables are still, I've got to make my bed every morning. That's that is law to me. Water, still a huge thing. My body lets me know when we're not hydrated. And then movement as well. That has to be a non-negotiable. The things that I'm struggling with at the moment. Oh, such a good question. It's a business related one. I have to get into my meta ads every single day and sweep them and interpret data.
That's disgusting.
And it's disgusting. It gives me anxiety, but also I know the season that I'm in at the moment, that's where my energy has to flow to. That's a non-negotiable, but it's challenging.
Would you say you have habits for personal self, say like health, fitness, then work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually color coordinate them in my habit tracker.
I'm obsessed.
I am ready to get into the organization questions. I will be on the edge of my seat listening.
Literally, we were so excited about this. Okay.
Let's go into goal setting now. So what are your tips and strategies to actually achieve your goals, which are slightly different to habits? Like habits are just implementing those daily non-negotiables, but
That
goals
can help towards your goals.
Yes.
But then goal setting, I feel like is separate.
So how do you set achievable goals with yourself?
Yep. So my number one tip is to reverse engineer your goals. And I think what I love most about what I do, what I bring to the table, who I am, what my businesses are, is that the ethos is the same. So myself as a personal brand, my e-commerce brand, The Habit Tracker, and my podcast, we have the same value, we have the same mission, we have the same ethos. And that is like, you can have whatever you want in terms of your dream life, the dream body, whatever it is, but you cannot and will not until you focus on the habits, routines, and rituals required from you. So that's exactly how I set my goals, is I take this big goal and then I reverse engineer it. So what is required of me on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, and a daily basis, and then I will go to the effort of actually scheduling those things in. So I literally have in my Google Calendar, morning walk and mindset, every single day from 5 to 6. Come home, have breakfast. It's in my calendar. I'm being reminded of the aligned action every single day. Then on a weekly basis, it's like, all right, on a Sunday, I will check in with myself and do a self-reflection. Non-negotiable, that's law. That's how I move closer towards my goals. A weekly YouTube, whatever it is, weekly podcast, whatever it is, and then on a monthly basis, we'll do X, Y, and Z. So it's taking that big goal and reverse engineering it, and instead of making it like a big scary beast, you actually have monthly steps, weekly steps, daily steps, and it's up to you to do them. It gets to be really easy.
It's breaking it down, because if we look at the destination, we don't focus on the journey, you're truly never going to get there. And equally, you have to enjoy the journey as well. If you set yourself a goal and you're like, that is so big, so scary, I actually hate it, you're not going to get there, because you don't want to do the work in between to be able to achieve that. So for example, like you're training for a triathlon at the moment. Yeah. And like that's obviously a huge goal for you, but you're not looking at the triathlon with the full distance right now. You're focusing on like the day by day, the week by week. Okay, what run do I have to do today?
Exactly.
You probably start off with like a 2K run.
Yeah.
And then we build and we build and we build.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's breaking it down.
How do you know if you're setting unrealistic goals for yourself?
I guess like reverse engineering the reverse engineering. Like, so like so for example, if you are in a job that pays you $50,000 a year and your goal is to earn $10 million by the end of next year, that's a great goal. Let's reverse engineer that. Do the steps fit into that? No, that's not realistic. And I think it gets to be, there's a little bit of like duality here, because I'm like, I wholeheartedly believe like there's some goals that I have achieved that actually didn't make logical sense. So for example, like the social media following, that didn't make, like I could not have predicted that. And so I, like, for example, for the listeners listening, 100,000 followers in like 2 months, 3 months, because I went viral. Yeah. And I think I could never have been like, okay, let's reverse engineer this goal. To a degree, maybe I could, because social media is unpredictable, if you will. You can't, the algorithm's wild. You can go viral at any point in time. But I think getting really honest as to what is that goal. Is this something that I can predict? So for example, if you are an entrepreneur, money can come in huge sums at any given time, right? So if you have like a financial goal and you work for yourself, I would argue that that is a little bit different as opposed to someone that is working for someone else. They are capped at a certain amount. So I don't know. You have to be really honest with yourself. What I'm trying to obtain, can I reverse engineer this to a degree? For example, if you're like on social media, that is unpredictable. I mean, practice your discernment is all I can say. Like if you're listening, I'm sure you're a go-getter at heart. You're a smart human. You're here for a reason. Reverse engineer as much as you can with that said goal. Be realistic to a degree. But if it's something like social media or money, if you work for yourself, there are expanders and there's heaps of evidence out there to prove to you that anything can happen, basically.
And it's like, you know, I think we all can agree here is like we are all for setting big goals that scare us and excite us because we're going to work hard to get them. And I think it's like defining the difference between extremely unrealistic, not going to happen within 12 months. Yeah. Or, hey, this really freaking scares me, but it's achievable and it can work if I make it happen.
Exactly.
And I think that's where people get a bit lost.
Yes. And I think really referring back to that question is, can I make that happen? And I don't just mean, can I wish upon a star 5 days a week? It's like, what are your actual baby steps? And if I did these every single day until that deadline, is this achievable, yes or no? And you'll know. Like, you'll know. You'll be able to see, if I showed up in this way, X amount of time, this repetition, this consistency, is it achievable?
Yeah.
On that, what do you think is the difference between people achieving their goals and people not achieving their goals?
Habits.
Yeah.
And I think it goes deeper than that. A step down from that is the mindset.
Yeah.
So like and I think you guys are living proof of that. Like you have to have, and Lily, you mentioned this before, you need to want it. Bad enough. And if you don't, you're not going to show up in those habits. You're not going to show up in those routines or those rituals. So I think like the people that get the thing and the people that don't, it's actually just the action.
It's really like a stepping stone. Like it's like the first things first is like, what do you want and why? Because if you don't know your why, you're not going to then find the habits you need to. Then from there, you know your why. You've built the mindset. Let's start building some habits. Then from there, you're setting goals. And it like really just... I mean, everyone's going to have a different system and process, but when you can find what works for you, then you'll hit flying colours.
You also have to believe that you can achieve that goal, because if you don't believe you can, you subconsciously will not implement those habits to actually make that change. Like, it's like, for example, if you believe that maybe you couldn't finish a triathlon, for example, you probably wouldn't train as hard. You might not actually fuel yourself before you train, or like rehydrate and stretch and recover.
It's like me for high rocks. Like, I could, but I just like don't think I can, so that I won't.
Yes. Yeah.
Until I think I can nail this, then I'll start working.
And it's like this identity that you almost have to harness and step into, like for yourself, Lily. Like you obviously see yourself as a winner, as you know, you can compete. Same with you, Tori. Like you see yourself as an athlete. You've harnessed that identity, and therefore you show up in that way.
And
I totally
in
agree
that
with
sense, that feels so easy for us because we're
exactly.
like, we can see that, we know what to do, how to get there. But it's things like, for me, my biggest thing the last couple of years has been money. Like my relationship with money, my mindset around money. is like setting these big goals and then feeling like I'm not worthy enough because I've never had it. And like that just like comes, it's getting better, but it's come into play and like that is like hard for me.
Yeah.
And then there's like all different things that we all struggle with, but then things that we exceed in as well.
Yeah.
It is very interesting. So how do you measure progress when your results aren't visible straight away? Because that's what a lot of girls and guys like struggle with, is they feel like they're putting in all of this work and all of these habits, but they aren't seeing the results because it's not immediate. It takes a while. So how do you stay motivated and measure your progress?
Habit tracking.
Yeah.
And this is really, and when I say it changed my life, it truly did, because you have micro rewards in front of you. Like, you've got the micro wins, you have the action steps, and like you can look back. So with my specific habit tracker template, there is like enough for an entire month. And so looking at an entire month of tick, 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 that within itself is momentum to me. Even a week's worth of ticks, that within itself is momentum to me. Even if I don't have the tangible evidence just yet, I have put in the work.
Yeah.
This eventually compounds. It's inevitable.
Like you said before, when you get into bed at night and sometimes you feel like you haven't done anything, it's like you don't need to, like, yes, you have set this big goal. You don't necessarily need to achieve that straight away, but if you see you're making progress, that's enough to keep you going.
Exactly.
So it really does come back to the smaller things,
Yes.
which people try and bypass.
I know. And that's the thing that I used to do.
Yeah.
I would try and bypass the miniature, like 1%.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, what's that really going to do?
What's the point? Like, it's not going to.
Yeah, but the 1%
does.
has add up to the 100%.
Over time.
I was literally on a group call this morning talking about that exact same thing. I said, when you feel like nothing is changing, that is when everything is changing.
Yes.
Because if you give up now, you're never going to achieve that result. But if you keep doing the same thing day in, day out, I promise you, you're going to get there. Like, it doesn't matter how long it's going to take, you will get there. But if you give up now, you never will.
And that's something that I do now, is when I can feel myself like, feels like I'm just flogging a dead horse. I'm like, oh my God, I'm putting in the work. I don't have the tangible evidence just yet. And I can feel that little hesitation.
That's like the edge.
Yes. And I'm like, this is when you double down.
Yeah.
You don't give up. You actually double down. Give it 2 more weeks.
When you feel like you're falling off the bandwagon, you go harder.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it becomes easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, well.
how do you prioritize everything when everything feels important?
Yeah, this is what I said before, because you have your habits for personal
Yes.
development. You have your habits for business. I think as someone starting out, everything feels important. And it's like, I need to be hitting my steps, but I need to be doing this in business and I need to be studying uni and yada, yada, yada. How do you kind of bring it into a box and make each one
Yeah.
happen?
So I have what I call my feel-good fundamentals. So these are the fundamental needle movers that, if done every single day, make like a compound effect onto the other things that are just as important. So for myself, I will always start with looking after me before I focus on the business, because once I'm looked after, the business is then looked after, which then the money flows in, which then I can be a better wife, a better whatever. So I think it comes down to doing a bit of like a habit audit for yourself. If you were to do just 1 to 4 habits every single day that made you feel incredible, and you knew if they were nailed, everything else would be nailed, start there. And once you do master them, it may just take you a week or 2 to get on the bandwagon with those. Slowly introduce the other elements to your life, the other facets of your life.
Yeah. That's a really good answer, because like sometimes we try to do everything right away and then we get overwhelmed and we do nothing. So it's like you said, like focus on those fundamental tasks that make you feel good.
Yeah.
And then what's the next thing? Okay, now I'm focusing on my business, because if you constantly focus on yourself, you don't get money, you don't get paid, your business won't grow. So it's like one little like kind of section at a time, and then they all kind of like correlate together.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're sick of meal prep taking over your Sundays, or you're constantly on the go and skipping meals, Papa Macros has you covered. Their new menu has just dropped and it's packed with fresh, high-protein, macro-balanced meals delivered straight to your door, so you can stay on track without the stress.
Whether you're bulking, cutting, or just trying to eat better without thinking about it, their meals are designed to support your goals with zero prep, zero mess, and zero guesswork.
The best part, you can actually enjoy what you're eating. Think juicy peri-peri chicken, sticky beef stir fry, creamy pastas, and so much more. It's made by real chefs using real ingredients, and it actually tastes good.
My current favorite On the menu is sweet chili chicken and rice, the protein pancakes, and the corn and zucchini fritters.
My favorite is the sweet chili prawns lean version, chicken fried rice, and the crispy chili beef and fried rice. So, so good.
You guys can use our code RAWREALITY20 for a discount at checkout and make eating well the easiest part of your week. So you've built all of this, and looking from the outside looking in, like obviously we know you, but as followers and your audience and community can see you're very organized, on track, like you've got it down pat, as you now preach and teach. Do you ever have days where you feel stressed or unorganized or just hit a moment where you're like, fuck, like I need to rein it all back in?
Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
That
I mean, we all do. But like,
yeah, girl. Recently, actually.
Okay.
Basically, all of August and September.
Why is
September was
September
fucked for
so fucked
everyone.
away?
What the fuck was September?
No, I hated it.
No, like it was so bad. And like I can't even really tell you why. I just think winter came around and it was almost as if like I then went into like a personal winter. I socialized less. I like didn't post basically. I hibernated more. I just read books and listened to podcasts and cooked in my house.
Sounds really beautiful, though.
It was really beautiful.
And we
but
need
then,
those seasons.
Yes, I agree. But then I
Kept
sat
going.
down to, business kept going and money kept being spent on Facebook ads and the world kept turning and like things just obviously continued on. I just had to do like a complete habit reset, a complete reset in general, not just habit reset, like reset my home, reset my brain, took myself down to the Currumbin rock pools, just sat in silence, left my phone in the car, didn't bring any headphones, just sat in nature and was just like, help me.
A moment of silence.
Like
yes.
block out everything. But I do that regularly when I know I'm super dysregulated.
What do you
business is
call
going
it? Your
crazy.
solo day?
Solo soul days.
Solo soul, that's the one.
So I take myself out and just do soul filling stuff.
I love it.
Get myself a coffee, did a little road trip, took myself to Crystal Castle. Have you been to Crystal Castle?
No.
Gotta go. It's in Mullumbimby. That you just like, you pay a little entry fee. Shout out to Crystal Castle. And you can just roam around the crystal grounds and like there's all different like crystal experiences and like
so cool.
immersions.
Soon. With the girls, just the girls.
Do it.
Yeah, okay.
Did that, took myself to Byron,
I remember your
journaled.
Byron one.
Yeah.
Byron was like one of your first ones.
Yeah.
I remember,
I remember that vividly as well.
And I was
for
like,
some
I need
reason.
this day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like mentally not good.
Yeah.
That was like 2 years ago, I think. And I was like,
Yeah.
and that was, funnily enough, it was around the same time of the year. So I'm thinking like astrologically, is it a thing?
Yeah,
Not
I
sure.
think so, for sure.
But yeah, I just do a little bit of a reset. Again, a lot of the time when I can identify I'm dysregulated is because I'm trying to do 8 million things at once and I've neglected the feel-good fundamentals.
Yeah.
You have to come back to the needle movers because if you are not feeling good, like truly good, not what you put on social media, not the facade you put up for your friends or your partner, like if you're feeling not good or not well, 9 times out of 10, everything else around you, your business, social media, that's also
Well, it's how
not
they
well.
say,
Feed off
like,
that.
how you do one thing is truly how you do
Yeah.
everything. And it always starts with your morning routine. If you don't
Yeah.
set your day up for success, you probably find you don't feel as good, you don't work as hard, you
Yeah.
can't focus as much, you're not productive. If you do those non-negotiables in the morning,
Yeah.
naturally, you just have a much better day.
Agreed.
You are known as an organized queen. So how do you organize your life and how do you stay on top of things? And let's just like take us through your organization.
So I schedule everything, and I think I spoke about this before, like literally everything, lunch break, morning walk.
Google Calendar?
Google Calendar. in
Colour
everything.
coordinated.
Colour coordinated. We've got life, work, social media, all that kind of stuff. So that's the first thing that I do. I set reminders for everything.
Hey,
Everything.
reminders, that's a good one.
I'm a busy, and you two, you're busy too. I love our brains, but we have to, like, I do not rely on her anymore to, like, remember things.
Moods.
Like, I set reminders to take chicken out, to, like, be defrosted. I set reminders to get back to people. I will literally, this is bad.
To get back to people.
I have a 15-minute block where I'm like, get back to every text message and every DM you have not responded to.
Yeah, I
because
do that
that's
too.
important to me. I value being a really good friend and a really good, partner. Getting back to everything
Especially
I need
your
to.
community as well. Like I value so
Absolutely.
much getting back to
You are
DMs.
so good.
I just like it's a big part of what like why we do what we do
sure.
and why we can. So I
Exactly.
think when you can give back and like have like I send voice memos, I have conversations because I'm like
too.
you are the reason I can do what I do.
I was going to say we would
And-
be nothing without them.
and like hearing their stories and being
Yeah.
able to like communicate, I think is, and obviously the people around you as well. But yeah, I think that's a good one.
Yeah, so setting like reminders to do everything. I literally just go, and she's going to pick me up, but I go, hey Siri, remind me to text Lily at 11 a.m. tomorrow.
And it comes up.
Okay, I've added text Lily for tomorrow 11 a.m.
And it's done. I don't have to
I
think
need to
about
turn
it.
my Siri on.
Yeah.
For some reason she's been off.
Same.
I don't know why.
Seriously, no, she's been asleep.
And like how easy, like when I'm driving, I think of
Literally.
a million things,
That's what
and
I
I'm like
do.
trying to add to my to-do list. But like, hey Siri, add this, add this, add
Yeah.
this. Yeah,
Just
that's a good one.
make sure you definitely make sure this is the biggest takeaway of the entire podcast. Make sure you set a time for Siri to remind you because
Yes,
she'll
okay.
just put it into your notes, like not your notes, your reminders
reminders.
stuff, and you will never be reminded. It'll just be there.
A time and a date.
You have to
Yep.
do like tomorrow at 11 a.m. or whatever, and then she'll actually send you that. So that has been, I started that about a year ago because I'm like, I don't want to have to like pull out my phone and like type up notes. I'm like, hey Siri, just remind me to do this.
Especially
Yeah.
when you're working, my mind is always thinking of what else I have to do. Like I
Yeah.
struggle
Yes.
to like focus on that one thing. But instead of getting on your phone, writing like
Yeah.
a thing, then you kind of all of a sudden on Instagram and then you're replying to another
breaks the
WhatsApp
flow.
message and a
Yep.
message and you're like, oh my gosh, I literally came on here to set myself a reminder.
Yes, and then you start scrolling freaking TikTok or Instagram,
you're
and
like,
you're
how
just
did I
like,
get here?
and now I forgot what I was setting my reminder for. So, okay, I love that one.
yeah.
That's
right.
another
Favorite
thing.
one.
Yeah.
What else do I do? It's mostly Notion. I feel like if you know me, you know I'm
Yep.
I'm not affiliated with them, but I should be.
You should be.
I use Notion for everything.
Yeah.
Google Calendar, reminders,
Yeah.
Notion.
Yeah.
They're
It
free.
makes sense.
They're actually
Yeah.
all free as well. So like utilize them.
Facts. Okay, diving into future you, because you created like this most incredible series, but also empowered community based off this.
Yeah.
How did it come about, and what was the inspiration behind it?
It was a book actually. So I was reading a book called 10x is easier than 2x, and it was all about basically like the author's ethos is it's actually easier to 10x your life than it is to like go half in, half out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do. I've been wanting to listen.
It's a
read
really,
that book.
really good book. And there was a part of the story or part of the book where I think he called it the 10x filter, which is basically his mindset is very all or nothing. So I couldn't resonate with that fully, but I picked and pulled what resonated for me. But he believes that in order to 10x your life, you have to make sure that everything that filters into your life has to bypass like a 10x filter. And it's basically like, if this doesn't reflect my biggest, best version, it's actually not allowed to filter through my 10x filter and into my life. It gets stopped at the gates and it's not welcome in. And I loved that. And I was like, how can I make it a little bit more softer and gentle? Because he's like,
More feminine.
yeah, he was like, cut off the people, completely like block them, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, ooh, love the concept,
Yeah.
but like how can we make this a little bit more like aligned with me? So I was like, when I think about my future self, how can I apply this filter? And I called it the future you filter or the future you theory, which is basically like I now live my life based on future Beck. So like the vision of her is now my like guiding star. She's my northern star. Every decision I make, every opportunity I say yes to or no to, every post that I make, every friendship that I, maintain or acquire has future Beck in mind. And not just like her wealth or, her career, like her happiness, like her glow, like everything, the biggest, best version of Beck. How can I live my life through that? So I made a little series about it, blew up, literally changed my life.
Was it the way you changed the way you operated business because of it?
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything changed.
Wow.
Everything changed.
I
Like
love that.
friends,
Yeah.
everything.
Because I think even like me this year doing acro, a big part of it was like that was for me and my soul and to like finally close a chapter. But then when I came to the decision time, it was like, what is the purpose of what I want to do next or where my life is going? And that just wasn't it. And I felt it was obviously hard to make the call, but it just like happened like everything happens for a reason, and the girl that I replaced got to go back in, and just like it worked out so beautifully.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so I just feel so content, like
Good.
way more than I thought I was going to feel. But that was like, that was for me and little Tori to like really do that for her, and no one else, and no other reason other than just like, again, doing it for me.
Yeah.
But then going, okay, now what's actually for future me?
Yes.
And that's business, relationship,
Beautiful.
life. And that was just like a little confirmation thing from you to me. I was like, oh yeah, like this feels good.
And life gets better once you make decisions based on a future vision, not based on your current reality. And while I think that they serve their purpose, if you are unhappy with your present reality, you don't love how things are right now, you hate your job, you don't like the people you're hanging around, imagine if you based all of those decisions based on right now. You're staying stuck on where you are right now. You'll be right here for a really long time. So constantly flicking over that mindset to future you.
I feel like a lot of girls are similar in this, and myself, like I'm a very big people pleaser. So I'll always say like, yes, straight away, even if it doesn't serve me. And I had a kinesiology session like a few weeks ago now, and we're kind of like talking about this. And I think the biggest thing for me to help with my future life is not making decisions straight away and being able to sit on them. I'm a very emotional and reactive person as well. I'm very responsive, and she was basically saying like, don't take that away. Because I was saying like, I'm so emotional, I'm so reactive, like I just need to block it out. And she's like, no. You need to keep your emotions in play, because that's basically how you lead your life is with your emotions. You're not as much like a logical person, but don't do it off basically like straight away. Like give yourself like 24 hours or be like, can I get back to this? Then make your decision. And I think that's something I've implemented lately that's really helped me to be able to like, I guess like 10x my life is actually being like, okay, this opportunity has arisen or like come up for me. Let's just give it a little bit of a break, see how I feel, see what feels good, then make my decision.
I love that you said that. I'm in the exact same boat. Like I'm talking past 4 or 5 months. I have finally acknowledged I need to not make decisions so rationally. Like, you know, shiny object syndrome. Yes, perfect. Let's do that now. That's fantastic. And then I'll sit on it 48 hours, you know, later. I'm like, oh, actually logic comes through. And even, you know, I've just gone through hiring my first staff member. I had like 2 very incredible applicants. The first one came through and I'm like, yep, hiring her. And then the second one come through and I'm like, wait, this is even better than the other one. So I'm like, imagine if I didn't sit on it 24, 48 hours.
Yeah.
Very important.
Similar to me. Even for example, like this is such like a surface level answer, but like you messaged me to come on like Saturday morning to like your run club event. And like this is probably like nothing to no one, but I normally would be like, yep, let's go straight away. And then I didn't reply for like 2 hours because I was like, okay, do I want to go? And I was like, I feel like shit. Like I was like, I need a morning to myself. And I was like, no, I don't. And I was like, throw the phone away.
She was like, yep, no worries.
Yeah, exactly. But I just like little things like that we don't realize, like we kind of keep pouring from an empty cup. And it's like you need to make sure yours is filled before you can actually pour to other people. And it's little decisions like that that can make your life so much better.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just think we're in a rush to make every decision. But also when you're having a conversation with someone, they reply straight away.
Yeah.
Because the awkward silence of someone waiting to speak is... You can't have that. You can give a few seconds to think about your answer and process the question before you open your mouth. It's the same as making a decision. Like we think because it's such a fast-paced moving society that it's like decision made, done, move on. Yeah. But like actually maybe just take a step back and take your time.
Yeah. A lot of podcasters are like you're the most successful podcasters in the world. Like I'm like, are they... is the internet cut out? And then all of a sudden they start speaking. But it's because they're literally
You always check your phone and like, am I paused?
Yeah. I do that all the time. Yeah. And it's like, I remember I had like I think it was about a year ago, an actual producer like through a network for the podcast, and she was like, I love pauses. It adds like dramatic effect.
It does.
I also respect it more because I'm like, you're listening and thinking about your answer.
And because I used to edit them out. I'm like, we can't have a pause. No way in hell.
You're like yapping.
And then I outsourced to this producer and she was like, no, we keep them in there.
Yeah.
And now as a consumer, I'm like, I love the pause.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much.
Me too.
So interesting.
It's
just a pause moment to think and just take it all in. With the concept of decision making, can you explain a little bit, or to like someone who's like, with like going back a bit back to habits?
Yeah.
deciding your habits for future you.
Yeah.
How do you explain to someone defining those? Like if I'm thinking, there's habits that I need for me in the present, but there's habits that I need to implement for the next 6 months. Where are you putting them?
So I would argue that this comes back to like the goal setting reverse engineering.
Yeah.
So like this is like a future goal, for example.
Yeah.
But like we know that we can't obtain that future self or that future goal if we don't do the legwork now. Mm-hmm. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I just think because a lot of people, again, they try and bypass the now to get to the future without doing the now steps.
Yes.
But then also want to implement the later steps now, if that makes sense.
It's and I fall into this as well.
Yeah.
Because it's just like how much time can I collapse to get to this?
Yeah.
But that's not like that's literally not the point. Because even so, for example, it's probably not a good example. If you're someone that's really shit with money, you can't save, you have this big vivacious goal of saving, $50,000 by the end of the year, for example, but you can't save right now. If someone gave you $1 million today, you'd blow it in a couple of,
That's what Taylor always says.
Yeah, like you have to do the legwork now. You have to start acting as if future you is right now so that when that future you comes around, which inevitably it will, you know how to handle it.
Yeah.
You know what to do. You've got that experience. You know how to run the business in this new elevated level because you've done the legwork 6 months ago.
Yeah. And I think with like the businesses we're all in and what the paths we've chosen, we move fast, we make things happen. So then you can get stuck in that trap of like, well, I need to keep moving. But you can have months where it's a bit steady or it drops a little before it picks up real big. And it's just like we can all get caught in the trap of going, all right, that thing's over, what's next, without even celebrating the massive milestone that we just hit because we're just on to the next.
Totally.
Yeah.
Let's talk about social media. So essentially, you had a video go viral. Was that the treadmill one? Is that what?
What
kind of like picked up initially?
Yeah, well, that was in 2023 because I lost my account. Do you guys remember that?
Okay, I do.
Yeah.
So you put in so much work.
Oh.
Then you lost your account.
Lost my account.
What year did you lose your account?
I think it was
22?
2022.
Everyone was losing their account.
Yeah,
that
it was
year.
literally all the same
Oh my
year.
God, it was so bad. Anyway, so
Glad
I
that's
lost
over.
it, got it back, then lost it again, and then just never recovered it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, and this was like really reverting back to operating in future you. I was like, I know what is required of me. I want this so fucking bad.
And it's like that confirmation piece because the same thing happened to me when I got lost mine. I'm like, I really want this.
Yeah.
So now I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was the walking pad video that went viral. That was ridiculous. That's still to this day like 40 million views. What do you mean? So it went from like 3,000 to like 35,000 in like a week or something like that. It was ridiculous. And then it kind of just, and then it was the Discipline Diaries in 2023.
Yeah.
And then it was a future you concept.
So what made you want to start doing these series? Because that's essentially like this year specifically is the year that like series did really well. Whether that be fitness, skin, health journey. Like people love following a journey, but I feel like you kind of like almost like started it within like personally the influencers that I watch. But like years ago, what made you want to start a discipline series, not just post a selfie in the mirror?
I think it was I really wanted to make my journey bingeable. I wanted my journey to becoming, and it was Discipline Diaries at the time. I was like, I'm going to be on this journey anyway. How can I make this like, how can I make this like a Netflix series? How can I make this like people want to watch every episode? They know exactly what day it's coming out. It's like your favorite Netflix series. It's like, you know when a Wednesday is coming out and you know what time and I can't wait for the next episode.
And then
like,
if you've missed one, you can go back and watch them.
Yeah. So that was originally what I wanted. And I saw a lot of traction with the series back in the Discipline Diaries days. And then my next evolution, my next season came around where I was like, oh, I'm actively building my future self anyway. How can I make this like a fun follow along series that is both like empowering, inspiring, and motivating at the same time?
Yeah.
So
So where do you find you get your inspiration from? Because how do you not, I feel like a lot of girls that they're on social media, they struggle with like, I'm not going to call it copying because that is what trends are, right? Like we copy each other. But how do you get your inspiration and not go into that like, let's just follow this trend?
I get inspired by the season of life that I'm in and the things that I am consuming. And I don't mean social media. So I went for a really long time, I was a carbon copy of basically everyone. Anyone that blew up, I was like, I want to try that. I'm talking like when I first restarted that account, it got me nowhere.
And I feel like a lot of people get caught in that trap because it's like, well, it worked for them, so I'm going to try.
Exactly.
But
And do
until
you know what?
get authentic is when it will do well.
Exactly. And the consumer knows.
Yeah.
The consumer knows. I know as a consumer of content myself, as soon as I see another series or a ripoff of something else that I have seen, I'm like, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So I remember the Discipline Diaries. That was a personal kind of journey that I was on. So that was the season that I was in. With the Future You series, that was inspired by a book I was reading. I also did like the 5 a.m. Club series. I also did, and it's like inspired by a lot of the podcasts I'm listening to and the books that I'm reading and the parts of those things that I'm applying to my life.
Yeah. And that's what we always say. You have to be authentic to you on social media because then you can actually, like, people can grow with you. If you're just like copying this, copying that, the consumer gets confused because they're like, who are you?
Who are you?
And it's really hard as well for you to just keep copying someone. You get tired. Like,
It's
it doesn't
exhausting.
work. Yeah.
It's so exhausting and it is so much more rewarding when you go viral for something that came from here.
Yeah.
And now I see people copying me and I'm like, I did that.
Yeah.
And you can copy my content, but you'll never copy what's up here.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Period.
do you ever struggle with comparison then on social media?
Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
I've got so many people on mute. Love you in real life, don't want to see your content.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy how the people we look up to and we think that like quote unquote have like the perfect life and like who are always so inspired and come up with these things, like they also struggle with comparison because from an outside, like people could look at you and be like, oh, she never struggled with comparison because she's like up here on socials, she's good at editing, she's good at lighting, like what would she be comparing to? But we all have those people in our lives.
And it's not about them.
No,
like,
it's
I'm the
actually
same.
about me.
Yeah.
It has
Like,
everything to do with me.
There's a few people I'm like, God, they're killing it. And I'm just like, absolutely, like, I love their content.
Yeah.
But I know for me, like, and I'm proud of them, so happy for them.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, as for a me thing, I'm just like, fuck, like, why aren't I there yet? How come
Yeah.
I haven't done this? Like,
It
so
adds
you
that
just,
pressure. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's just like, some weeks I just want to protect my peace.
Yeah.
Some weeks I'm like, I don't want to feel this pressure to churn out content or churn out ideas or do this big crazy campaign. And I'm like, I'm actually in my own lane. I've got my little blinders on and I'm doing really well with these on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do way better with those on.
So much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? When I go into those traps of almost wanting to not copy, but be inspired by someone else, which I think is fine. But it's like I'm now in a season of my life where I'm like, I want to challenge myself. What new ideas can I bring to the table? Because there's heaps up here.
Yeah.
And I know, like, as I said, it's so rewarding once you get recognized for your authenticity. I'm
Yeah.
at a point now where I'm like, that's all I want to be known for. I don't want to be known as the person that edits like her or has the same concepts as her. Like, I want to be Beck, what she brings to the table, and be known for that. So life is actually better when I've got these on.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
it's just like everyone is so different because I feel like started this year, a bit of last year, a lot of like crazy edits were like popping off. Like everyone doing clicks and effects
Still
and
love
like
that though.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. Like I tried to do because there was someone, not Holly B, there was someone
Love
else.
her.
Someone else was doing really cool edits, and I was like, cool, fun, like let's try that. But then Holly is so basic and simple. And I just enjoy that so much more.
Yeah.
Depends on, like, I love your content.
Yeah.
But it depends on the person. Whereas I feel like for me, I'm like, I'm so raw.
Yeah.
Having these, maybe one or two, maybe brand deals that could be cool edited, like a
Yeah.
bit of fun where I like to get creative. But like anything that's about me, I'm like, as raw as it gets. And that just like feels good for me.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
And
that
easier,
work-
yeah. And it's just like, again, coming back to like,
4 hours to a reel.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, Katie Viant.
Yes.
Love.
Katie Slade.
But
Yeah,
you
she
see,
slays.
like you follow her because of the really good,
Yeah.
crazy edits that you
Yeah.
love, exact same as you. People aren't following me for my crazy edits; they're following me to post a shredded photo in the mirror. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Or it's like
it's
Beth
different
from
now.
Perth. Like her content
Yes.
is like it's in the gym, but it's like good camera always. Jackson was known for like his good quality content. If we did like a good camera reel, it flops.
People would rather me post a really shitty quality selfie than a picture perfect high res photo.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just finding what you enjoy is going to connect with your audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm
Felt
just- yeah.
so good. And I
Great
loved
combo.
that.
I'm going
episode.
straight to turn my Siri on. That's
No,
what I'm doing.
I like don't want to do anything else today but organize my life. Like
know.
I am feeling ready.
Oh my God.
I love it.
What is your final piece of advice for those who are wanting to embark on their personal development journey?
I just recently did a podcast episode on this topic, so I'm feeling all up in this concept, but just start right now.
Yeah.
Do not wait until the end of the month. Do not wait until the 1st of January. Do not wait until you feel ready. Start right now. As soon as this podcast episode is finished, identify your first baby step and then do that. And then get a habit tracker.
Yeah. Especially this time of year, it's getting to the point of people being like, oh, I'll wait till January.
I'm about to do a reel on this. I think that Q4 is the most underrated part of the year.
Yeah.
Because if you can do the legwork now and implement some habits for the next 90 days, for the next 3 months of the year, imagine like how much further along you're going to be 1st of January.
Starting the year like a whole different person rather than starting the year trying to build that person, because then you kind of get over that motivation. When you start January, you're so motivated for like literally a week, and then all of the fun dies down. You're back at work. The sun is starting to rise a little bit later. All of those things. We're already heading back into the winter time. If you start now, then it gets to December and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm so motivated to keep going.
I'm obsessed. Where can everyone find you and your habit tracker and your podcast?
Beck Stewert on Instagram, the.habit tracker on Instagram, and in her power pod on Instagram.
Start consuming Beck, everyone.
Yeah.
You will change your life.
Don't mute her. Don't mute her.
Don't mute me, please.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I'm so happy that we could actually tee up a time now.
Oh my God, thank
And that
God.
episode was perfect, so it's just meant to be.
It was.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
No worries. Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll be in your ears next week.
Bye.
Bye.